So says child privacy, depending on your accent. Hi, my special ones. Always a pleasure to be here, and I thank you in advance for always tuning in and watching. You guys definitely make my day. Today we're going to be talking about, like I said, child privacy. So some security experts released very interesting series that I watched about how millennial parents are being accused of sharing too much information about their children. Of course, millennials, we are very into social media, so they're saying that this can probably have some negative effects. They gave an example of how, you know how when you give birth to your child and you announce on that day, so that's the birth date of the child is out, then you announce what the child's name is, and then I know what your last name is, so I know what your child's full name is. So they were saying that people were stealing children's identity and them using it to rack up credits. Now in Nigeria, we're not that advanced for that to happen, but they were just warning against sharing too much, sharing the child's full name, the child's birthday. Of course, maybe you also share your maiden name, so that way you can have like so much documentation. You know how when you're filling the form, mother's maiden name, date of birth, name, full name, people can actually get all this information, your address. You know, sometimes people can get all this information about you online. So they were saying that children's identities were being stolen, and that these children are gonna grow up and be automatically in debt, because the social security number is in their name and a debt is being racked up on it. Now in Nigeria, we're not this advanced to have these kind of problems, but still it is something that I felt was a cautionary tale. So I mean, I get the whole sharing pictures of your child online. Social media currency in the world we live in today is a form of currency, whether we like it or not. So I get that maybe some parents want their kids to be popular so that when they grow up, they already have like a following to build on. But understand that most of these celebrities who post a lot about their children already have lots of other things locked down. So they go and buy the child's handle. So www, for example, like Blue Ivy, I'm sure Beyonce's already bought that. They buy the child's web name, they trademark the child's name. So even when they're sharing all this information with you, you can't really pirate it or steal from it in any way, because they kind of like they kind of get the paperwork done, probably open a company in the name of the child. So that way, even though they're trying to build the child's social media following, nobody else can steal from that. So I find that this is something that we should also learn from. So if you're going to share that much information, probably open Instagram handle for your child with the hope that before your child is a teenager, they'll have a following that they can then monetize in any way possible. Then also, you know, buy their domain name, probably register their name at CAC as a company, trademark their name, do the work, because you might just be building up something for somebody else to steal from you. Now, another security problem they have noted is also kidnapping. So if you're very popular and you're sharing your child's face, especially online, then your child can easily become a target, especially when they go to school or they go to play, because they will easily be recognizable. So that's just something to note. Some people argue that you should at least wait for the child to come off some form of sense, maybe 9, 10, and take the child's permission before you share things about the child online. Some parents prefer to take the bull by the horn and just make the child popular, knowing fully well that they can monetize on it. Kylie Jenner is a good example of a parent who just went ahead and made her child popular, and she's enjoying it now. I mean, I'm not a parent, and I can't really sit here and tell you what is the best route to go by. I see merits to both. I see merits to keeping a bit of privacy and allowing your child decide for themselves. I also see merits in popularity as a currency. But just be aware that whatever method you choose to follow, be aware that especially for those who want to go ahead with the social media fame, like I said, try and get other paperwork on ground, registration as a company, trademarking. I just mentioned so many things, buying their domain name, so that nobody else is ripping stuff off from your child. Another easy trick might be, maybe not the day you give birth to the child, don't announce it that day. Wait like 3 weeks and announce it, so that we don't know the child's exact birth date. And you don't always have to post your child's picture on the child's birthday. You can post it like 2 weeks later and be like, oh, happy birthday, the baby turns 2. And that way we don't really get to know too much information like a birthday and other stuff about the child. You know, you can take the pictures and do your celebrations on that day, but you don't necessarily have to post it for us to know on that day, just to protect these very crucial information about your baby. That's my soul says. Like I said, I watched this show where the security experts were talking about this, and I thought it was really, really interesting. I'm not sure what way I'm gonna go when I have my child. I know that for those who probably come from lots of family money, they like to hide this kind of information because of especially the fear of kidnapping, and maybe they feel like they already have enough to bequeath as an inheritance to the child, so the need for the hustle online isn't that necessary. But for we regular folks, I get it, you know what I mean? You gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not sure which way I'll go, but now that I have all this information, whichever way I choose, I think I will try to be a bit more careful. Also, don't go taking pictures of your child at school and posting it online. That way we know what school your child goes to and we can trace them. So just kind of put a little bit of thought into some of the information you share online about your child, for their own privacy, and most importantly for their own safety. That's my soul says. Always, always, always remember to practice your empathy. And what does practicing empathy mean? Practicing empathy simply means you train your judgment in such a way that when you hear or you see someone doing something that you don't agree with, you first of all pause on the judgment and try to understand why. So you ask, why are you doing that? You know, as opposed to, look at what that person is doing. So less judgment, more compassion, more understanding, because like they popularly say, depending on the point of view you're viewing something from, that can really affect how you weigh it on the moral scale or the moral compass. You know what I mean? Two things can look right or wrong depending on the view. So if I come and tell you this guy was strangling me and I stabbed him and I killed him, that would be self-defense. If I came and told you I just killed somebody, you would call me a murderer. So it's always very good to try to understand the why before we rush to judgments. So practice your empathy so much that it becomes second nature to you. And empathy simply means what you don't want someone to do to you, don't do it to another person. Thank you so much, my special ones, for watching. And always remember that I, Sylvia Ology, so I love you.